Welcome back to another battle report, guys. Today we've got Soviets against Germans. The mission we are playing is Hasty Attack, so both sides have got reserves. The Germans suffer from having scattered and delayed reserves. We'll go over the table just before we go over the lists. You can see we've got an objective placed here. That was placed by myself as the Soviets. Johnny's placed his defensive objective there. And I've placed another one over there. I'm going to remove one of my two. And then Johnny's placed one over here, which I have clearly overreacted to by putting quite a lot of guys on it. But we'll go over, well, in fact, as far as the table goes, everything's fairly standard. We've got some woods, some hedges, roads that may play a part in this for quicker movement. There's a couple of minefields, and a fairly built up area, a fairly open area, just so we can see how that will affect tactics. So Johnny, you're playing Viking, who are fearless trained.
Yep.
So what have you got on your list?
My list is an HQ of 2 Panzer IV H's. I have a further platoon of 5 Panzer IVs. I have a platoon of Stugs, 4 Stugs. I have a heavy machine gun platoon. And I have 3 Pak 40s. I also have 4 Marder H's, sorry, Marder M's actually, although I'm using H's. There is a platoon of infantry over here. They've all got Panzerfausts, and I have my Nebs over here, and that's my list. So off the table just now, I removed the Marders, my Stugs, my HQ and the Pak 40s.
They're an ambush, the Pak 40s?
Yep.
So on the Russian side, this is my response to version 4. I don't like big infantry blobs, I think they're awful. They can only go in one direction and can get one platoon can get immediately pinned down, and you've got like 20 odd bases sitting doing nothing. So I've actually got 3 small platoons. The smallest they can be, 7 bases in command. I've got 3 SU-100s. I have a platoon of 6 heavy machine guns, and then I've got my HQ section, which has been supported by the anti-tank rifle platoon and the sapper platoon, so it's quite a good force to defend that objective, because there is a potential for him to come in on this flank, or if he's more mobile stuff, if he rolls right, because he's got scattered reserves, but there's potential to come in here, and if not, I can always push up. Now, in this mission I placed 2 objectives and I removed 1. So Johnny, could you take that objective away there?
Sure.
Right, and that, I've taken that one away because I want to push up here and use the town as cover from infantry. Oh, because in reserve I've got 4 IS-2s with tank riders and 4 57mm anti-tank guns. The anti-tank guns have got trucks, so I can move them around fairly quick. And I think I'm going to try and just push through the town, which will allow me to get in to here or to here. The minefield will actually help protect my flank against his tanks that really need to get around the side of my IS-2, so we'll see how that goes. So we'll come back at the end of Russian turn 1, and I reckon it's pretty much just going to be movement. So we'll see you in a minute. So the end of Soviet turn 1, mostly just movement. 1 platoon tactically moved up into these 2 buildings here, so there's 4 bases in each. Another one moved over and behind, and then these guys here moved up. Tried to follow me order, but it didn't work. I'm going to see if I can get myself into that building quite early. The SU-100s tried to blitz, failed, so they're just sitting there as providing some cover and fire. Anything pops out, they could be in trouble. These guys stayed dug in. These guys managed to blitz up and then dug in and then fired and got a couple of hits over there, but they're in range now of that platoon, so that's quite a lot of dice that could get chucked down. But that's it for the Soviets. They didn't get any reserves that turn, so over to the Germans for their turn 1.
Okay, so at this turn I moved these guys from here. I did a follow me order after it to get them a little bit further up.
Because you guys are fearless. So
Yep. My panzers, I wanted to get them into the action, so again I moved them up. I managed to get a couple of shots off, but was unsuccessful at hitting you. As far as my nebs went, I ranged them beautifully over here, covered every single base, and as usual my dice rolling, I got 2 hits and 1 was successful, although they are pinned. So that's the extent of my turn, because it's too early to roll for reserves.
So start of Russian, turn 2. I got 2 dice for reserves and they both came in. So I was going to charge these guys up the road, but then I noticed that they could actually see some Panzer IVs, so they just took a tactical. The 57 mils came on and dashed up to here. The heavy machine guns, I've got 5 heavy machine guns, we'll do that a little later on. They're just going to try and chase after the infantry, who have wisely decided there's no point in holding an empty field. These guys have stayed where they are just now because I'm still worried about where his reserves are. These infantry, they unpinned and moved up into that building. The 2 platoons of infantry over here are moving up and they're now getting quite close. Shooting was a bit of a nightmare. The Panzer IVs took a hammering. The Su-100s managed to do a blitz move, so got into a position where they could all fire, and they managed to take out 1 and bail 1. No, they took out 2 actually and bailed 1. They never missed in the end. And then the IS-2s, they fired up the road and managed to get another one as well. So they'll be on a motivation. I could have tried assaulting out of here. I got 2 bases that were within 4 inches. But it's only 2 bases. You'd have to roll a 1 for me to get them. I maybe could have done it, but I've just decided I'm in the right place now. So they're just going to hold the ground ready to try and do something next turn. It would have just been a bit of a Hail Mary. Could easily lost 2 more bases out with that platoon. So we'll be over to Germans for turn 2. They've got to get moving and motivating, and then hoping the reserves will turn up.
Okay, German turn 2. There's no shooting this turn, it's basically all movement. What I did was I first of all brought my ambush on here, because Frank has so much stuff coming across here. I really need to try and protect this objective over here. So I brought my Pack 40s on. I tried to get this guy back into his tank and he failed it. I needed a 2 and I rolled a 1. So what I've done is I've backed the commander off back here.
Yeah, and you passed the platoon motivation.
Yeah, so he managed to get back here. The infantry, I managed to move up to here, and then I did a follow me order and managed to get them into the woods, so they're in there. And then finally I used my nebs, and on my 3rd attempt I managed to range in. So I've laid a big trail of smoke right down here, so hopefully that will give them a bit of protection from all this nasty stuff that's over there. Didn't get any reserves obviously because it's not turn 3 yet, and I'm still not guaranteed to get them on turn 3, but we'll see what happens in turn 3 for the Soviets.
So Soviet turn 3, a couple of things. Anti-tank guns have deployed now against the threat of any reserves coming in. Heavy machine guns have been moving over with the help of a follow me order. IS-2s moving up with the help of a follow me order. Infantry keeping them on moving up through these houses, but critically they moved up into the church, got an assault off against the observer in the church, and then Johnny being Johnny rolled a 1 for his motivation. So everything had to break off, and because the medium guns can only tactically move at 2 inches, he lost 2 Pack 40s. So it's critical now for I filled the rest of the infantry into that house from that damaged platoon. So it's critical now that Johnny gets reserves on in the right place. So here's for German turn 3.
Okay, German turn 3. I managed to unbail this guy here, and so I didn't need a motivation, and I brought the 2 of them round here so they're out the way. I managed to roll for reserves, so I brought my Stugs on.
Yeah, you rolled a 6 and they came on right where you wanted them.
Yep, so they're up in here. I managed to dig these guys in. These guys here, they fired a load of shots at these guys.
Yeah, got a couple of hits, but you dug them in as well.
Yeah, they're dug in now. So didn't really do any damage to anything, to be honest. The Pack 40, a couple of shots up here, Hit with one of them, but Frank rolled his saves no problem. And I think that's it.
Stuggs fired a few shots into
Also
the church.
did, yeah, into the church, but again, I didn't manage to kill anything. So, and that's the end of my turn here.
So Soviet turn 4. What happened here? So the heavy machine guns have kept moving over, and they let rip into the wood along with the guys in the house. Loads of hits, billions and billions there, failed saves. Only one died though because of bulletproof cover. The IS-2s moved up. The infantry in these houses stayed put. The infantry in these houses stayed put. There could be a pile of heavy machine guns come wandering into the table next turn. Some infantry are a bit scared. And as far as shooting goes, the rest of the shooting, the IS-2s missed. The SU-100s managed to clobber a combination of Pak 40s and Nebelwerfers, but didn't actually kill anything. They made their saves. So it's getting pretty close in now. We have to see what's happening with the rest of the reserves, and then my IS-2s might have an idea of where they're going.
Right, so German turn 4. I managed to get my reserves, so I brought my Marders on, and I've kind of hidden them behind this set of woods here. These guys just remained where they were, dug in, gone to ground, didn't do anything. My Nebs managed to range in over here on these heavy machine guns. Unfortunately, I only managed to hit one of them. My Pak 40 had another pop at these IS-2s, didn't do anything. The Stuggs, loads of shots into the church, managed to kill one base certainly, and that's effectively my turn over.
So Soviet turn 5, the IS-2s have decided they're going to swing around and try and push everything down that way. These heavy machine guns didn't unpin, didn't dig in, so they just kept firing. The infantry moved up here, the infantry stayed on the ground here, and the infantry fired here. Those guys in the wood took loads and loads and loads of hits, managed to actually kill something. That was heavy machine guns, IS-2s, infantry in the building. These had a really good turn shooting this turn. They killed the remaining pack and the one Neb. I probably should have just left the pack alive, because now I can't assault. I would have been able to assault, consolidate and move into that building, so that was probably a mistake actually even shooting at the pack. So we'll have to see what comes on in the way of reserves and what Johnny's going to do about these guys.
Okay, German turn 5, I rolled for reserves, I got both my reserves on, so my HQ came on here and I moved them up here. They had a couple of shots, these guys didn't do anything. My other reserves was my heavy machine guns, they came on here. Got a pile of shots in here and I managed to get 3 bases killed, so that was quite successful. My Marders didn't do anything, I didn't move them at all. These guys also shot into here, but they weren't successful unfortunately. Over here, my artillery, they bombarded over here. Again, I didn't get anything, so that was pretty ineffective. And my Stuggs and these guys here piled a load of shots in here, and again, ineffective. I didn't actually kill anybody. So that's the end of my turn 5, and all my reserves are now on.
Right, Soviet turn 6. So first of all, these guys have all picked up. There's nothing happening over here at all now. They're going to see what they can do. The heavy machine guns managed to dig in, didn't unpin. These guys got a blitz and then a tactical move, so they were able to take some shots that the Marders bit missed. These guys here, one had to go at the woods, 2 had to go at and I think it actually hit but saved. Infantry moved up towards this house, most of them are inside the house. These guys in here are staying put, and then there was just lots of shooting from here and here into there. Didn't kill anybody, but lots and loads of hits and pinned them again. So I'm making my move now. Let's see what Johnny can do with his Marders.
Okay, German turn 6, movement. I moved the Marders up here because I wanted to get some side shots.
You got a blitz to start with.
Yeah, I blitzed them and then managed to get them up. I got one hit, and Frank made a tremendous save as usual.
6.
My machine guns, I moved one guy up so he could get any closer range. Hit some shots down there, didn't do any damage unfortunately. Over here, my HQ, the Stugs, and these two Panzers, put a load of shots in here, only managed to get one base. And my Nebs went back over here, and I put an artillery bombardment down there, and again I didn't do any damage, so it's not looking very good for the Germans unfortunately. So we'll see how turn 7 goes for the Ruskies.
Soviet turn 7. So these guys are still piling up. Some of them have sort of diverted themselves a little to take pot shots at the Marders. Just because I've got anti-tank rifles, I never get to shoot them at tanks. What else? The IS-2 stayed put as the issue were hundreds, and then the infantry finally moved into that building over there. So as far as shooting goes, it took quite a lot of shooting to actually get the Marders to that condition, but there's one left bailed, and we'll see what it is. And then I did a shooting scoot with the IS-2s to force them to move to get any side shots. Bucket loads of death fire at here, but only one guy killed. Basically everything had to concentrate on them because the dice rolling was pretty poor. So over to German turn 7. I'm still not making much progress towards any objectives, to be honest.
German turn 7. The heavy machine guns fired in down here, and I managed to take one base, I think it was, yep. Frank. I put a bucket load of shots in here again from the Stugs, from my HQ and from these guys, and I managed to get another 2 bases. My Nebs put an artillery strike in here, didn't manage to do anything, and I think that's it. Yep.
One other thing.
Oh, the Marder, yep, sorry, it failed its motivation test. So
bailed in and then lagged it.
It's off the table now. So that's the end of turn 7 for the Germans.
Soviet turn 8. So, quite a few things happened in this turn. First of all, I killed a heavy machine gun. And everybody's storming into this area. These guys came running out of this house and over here. These guys are moving up through there. These are working on killing the heavy machine guns. My main thrust was to try and get these guys into the assault in the wood, but I couldn't get close enough. I had to rely on a follow me, which I failed. But they did assault a heavy machine gun, kill it, and then consolidate into position to attack it. These guys here moved up, did a follow me, launched an assault, but took 7 hits in counterfire. The guys are pinned, but I'm not really killing anybody. So it really comes down to what happens next turn, I think, and see if they can bounce off the assault for the Soviet heavies, if the heavies pass their cross checks. So let's see what happens.
German turn 8. So my remaining machine gun, put some shots in here.
Killed one.
I think I killed one base with it.
But you got 5 out of 6 hits.
Yep. So I was kind of unlucky there. They put a load of fire in here. These Stugs did absolutely nothing. My HQ and these 2 guys here though put in some fire against these guys, and I managed to take
4 altogether. No, 3 altogether, sorry.
3.
Because one was already dead, which wasn't bad.
And my Nebs fired into here and did absolutely hee-haw.
Yeah, lots of saves.
And I've just left these guys dug in and gone to ground, and we'll see what happens in turn 9.
So Russian turn 9, and I finally managed to do something. Infantry are piled up through here. The infantry in front of the wood, they failed to unpin. So I just kept hammering the wood. I managed to kill his 2 Fausts who were at the front facing part of the wood, and then I managed to make every cross check for the IS-2s, and they went in and got 4 hits straight away. That killed the last 2 bases. And under the new victory conditions, because this platoon here was within 4 inches of that objective and ended the turn with no defender within 4 inches of the objective, that means the attacker wins, the defender can't feed in subsequent turns. So I think we'll just go on to summarise things, and I have to say Johnny's casualty markers look really, really nice, and we've left them on the table as opposed to taking them off at the end of the turn, just so you get an idea of where everything was getting killed, and I think you can see where it was all happening. So we'll come back for a wee summary. Recap, as usual I took far too long to actually do anything, but that's just my style of play. It was really, really difficult for the Germans in this, because if they stuck their noses out anyway, they were getting hit by anti-tank 15, anti-tank 16, which meant, and front armour 9 or 10 with their medium anti-tank guns. This list is really aimed at dealing with that kind of medium armour threat. If there was a King Tiger on the table, it would have been a totally different game. I'd have been doing all the hiding, but as it was, I could manoeuvre myself around, and when I was no longer worried about the reserves coming in on my flank, I went after the Marders, managed to survive that, and then got the assault in against the wood, and you can see pretty much had 1, 2, 3 infantry platoons effectively all going in there, another one just sitting at that other objective. But I didn't lose any platoons. At the end of the day, the heavy machine gun survived 2 last stands, so no losses there. But any thoughts yourself, Johnny, about your list or the mission?
I think the list's okay. I agree with you that it needs maybe a King Tiger in there just in case I come up against something like this list. What I would say is my Panzers, I should never have moved them from behind the woods as early, and I possibly should have put my infantry right on this objective. I also think that my Pack 40s didn't really do much, so it was maybe better if I'd used a different platoon in ambush, as you mentioned yourself, maybe my machine guns or something like that. I felt it was tough in the fact that I didn't get reserves until turn 3, and even then it wasn't guaranteed. I was fortunate enough they came on at the right place, but it's quite a tough mission for the defender, in my opinion. But it was good that it went to the wire, and I love the fact we can see exactly where all the action happened. It's obviously going to happen around the objectives, but it actually shows, you know, I mean, if you look at the rest of the table, there's nothing. It's just exactly around these 2 objectives. But thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, learned loads, and I appreciate Frank taking me through it. It was great.
Thanks for the game, Johnny, and we'll see what we can do with the next one. But I do like those casualty markers, and leaving them on the table can be a wee bit untidy for moving your bases about, but it does show you where all the action was.